30, like, I'm just going.
Oh, wait. Okay. Hi. Is anyone watching this? Are people watching this? I don't know if people are.
People are watching.
Oh, okay. Bridget's on too. Hi, everybody. Hi, Allison, Dan, Krista. Oh, man. I'm going to mispronounce this. Ulrich. Hi, Marketing Project. Then, yeah. Debbie, Sherry, Daisy, Sue, all of my people are here. Hello, Kevin's here. I'm sure there's a delay from what I'm saying and what you're typing. I'm just here. Matthew's like, let us know if you're not feeling it after 30 minutes. Yeah, so Bridget and I wanted to do a live stream today on YouTube. And first Bridget said, well, why don't you talk about like how you've gotten over self-sabotage or something? And I said, can I just get on and not talk about like anything specific? Just get on to say hello to everybody. So if you are here to learn from a credentialed mental health doctor, this is not the video for you. I am not a mental health doctor, but I am the host at MedCircle. Perhaps if you're watching this video live, you have seen our videos on YouTube. And for the real diehard MedCircle fans, you have likely gone to medcircle.com and gotten a MedCircle membership. A lot of people don't know that we offer a MedCircle membership outside of YouTube. So I just wanted to pop on today. I don't like it when influencers say that. Not that I'm an influencer, but when people go, I just wanted to hop on here today. It's like, okay, really? But anyway, I just wanted to hop on here today to ask, to talk to you guys, to talk to the viewers, chat, ask questions, answer questions, etc. There's no agenda here. This is just good old fashioned live streaming. What is up? So I'm good. I'm actually great today. I live in Arizona and it's normally sunny here, which I get as part of the deal, but I am a cloudy and rain type of guy and it's cloudy today. So I was really amped. Went to the gym. I had back-to-back video meetings all day and now I'm doing this. So I'm staying on video. Okay, from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Nice. I'm a pretty boy. Well, thank you. I had a MedCircle prescription last year. Oh, subscription last year. Totally worth it. Thank you. Very nice. Yeah, there's all, and if you can always try MedCircle for free. Well, in fact, you have to try MedCircle for free. You cannot just go buy MedCircle. You have to go through a 7-day trial period so that you can make sure that it's right for you before you commit. But hey, you can always commit month to month, Could you please get into attachment styles? Well, look, I could get into attachment styles, but I am not smart enough to sit up here and answer all your questions about attachment. However, I do have a pretty good education on attachment. When someone joins MedCircle, they actually people will ask me, well, where should I start? Like, what should I start first? And I say, if you're dating, or if you want to be dating, or if you're in a relationship and you're like, what's going on here? I kind of say start with attachment styles first. That series on attachment style. Bridget, can you throw in that series? You can only watch the full series if you're a MedCircle member, but you can start a trial too and watch it. Sorry, I'm reading all your guys' comments. You're very funny. You could watch that series. So my attachment style we did somewhere, and I am Bridget, do you remember what my attachment style is?
Avoidant.
What is it?
Dismissive avoidant.
Don't you love how Bridget knows my attachment style? She's like,
I know you better than you know yourself at this point.
Oh, amen to that, no question. Yeah, I'm dismissive avoidant. I'm very much cool by myself, I'm like, I'm cool. And I am dismissive. I'm working on it though. In fact, MedCircle's helped a lot with that. I think even though I would probably score that still today, the dismissive avoidant attachment style, I think I handle it a lot better than I did. You know, I moved through relationships a lot better than I did. Okay, so let me answer some of these questions. Does OCD have to do with diet? That is a question for Dr. Jenny Yip. We have a great series on OCD. What is your favorite topic to discuss? I like relationships at the moment because it is something that is super relevant to me right now. But I tend to be most interested in MedCircle topics that are most relevant to me. That's the selfish answer. I do have I don't know if fascination is the right word, but I am very interested in learning about all the personality disorders because I feel like to a degree, we all have a little bit of all 10 of the personality disorders, you know? So if you can get away from like a diagnosis and the treatment and just kind of look at symptomology and the psychology behind psychology, I think those become really interesting and actionable, those series on personality disorders. Okay, so Myers-Briggs, I mean, look, I'm a believer in Myers-Briggs in terms of, I think they get it accurate. I am an INTJ. That's 2% of the population are INTJ. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because that's the truth. Do you think that an individual's life philosophy can be altered to reduce anxiety? Probably. I don't know exactly how you would define a life philosophy, but certainly how we think about the future, or I shouldn't speak for me, certainly how I think about the future impacts my anxiety level. I have never been somebody who would say, oh, I'm a big sufferer of anxiety, like I'm like a big anxious person, until 2020. 2020, I'm on these virtual calls with my doctor and I go, look, I don't know. I thought I knew what anxiety was, but I didn't, because this is it. I'm feeling it. It was bizarre. So I'm not typically an anxious person. I'm just a good old fashioned depressed person, not anxious. Okay. What do you think about Myers-Briggs? Okay. Yes. Your narcissism videos are helping me deal with my ex and be able to wake up now each morning. What does MedCircle offer? Just videos. Just videos. Okay. First of all, MedCircle has 2 core offerings. You're probably familiar with our videos if you've watched them on YouTube. However, our YouTube videos represent just a fraction of the videos and the series and the docu-series that we have available at watch.medcircle.com. I think that's a website people don't know about. People go to YouTube and search MedCircle, they go to medcircle.com. But if you want to look at the entire video library, okay, and you can watch a lot of it too. And if you want to see everything we got in terms of videos, watch.medcircle.com. You can also download the app for free and I think you get 6 or 7 free series, and then you can of course see everything. The second offering we have is live classes. These happen every week. They're virtual classes on a variety of different topics featuring a variety of our MedCircle doctors. And the coolest thing about them is that the doctors answer live questions from live viewers, members, etc. So it's a chance to get your questions answered by the same doctors often that you watch in the video series. And it's not treatment, there's no diagnosis, it's not private, it's a big group, but those clarifying questions to help you really understand the nuances of mental health can be really transformative. How are you in Montana, Oregon at the same time? Pick a state. I don't think I've ever been to Montana or Oregon. People are so weird with their questions and statements. Don't be so dismissive. Yes. Hello, Kyle. I'm pretty sure this was asked before. What can I do if I have narcissistic traits? Well, that is certainly a question for your therapist or psychologist. I have had this discussion many times, however, and from a personal standpoint, this is just from my understanding. I am not a doctor. This is not advice. This is not insight at all. This is my opinion, that if you believe that you have narcissistic traits, that quality alone is not always present in somebody who is living with narcissistic personality disorder. And remember, there is a difference between narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. You can, call your ex a narcissist, but you cannot diagnose them with narcissistic personality disorder unless you're the therapist and you dated one of your patients, which, probably not the best call. So that has to be teased out a little bit, because I think those living with narcissistic personality disorder are getting lumped into anybody who acted like a jerk one time. We're all a little bit narcissistic, I think. And so, yeah, if you believe that, if you are looking at yourself, ooh, am I being narcissistic? I think you already have insight and awareness that could be really beneficial for you as you move forward with that. I've had friends come to me and say, oh my God, Kyle, I just watched your video on narcissism. And I said, you mean Dr. Romney's video on narcissism? And they said, yeah, but you were there. And I said, I know, what'd you find out? And they say, might be a narcissist. And I go, maybe you are, but if you are having this type of reaction, it could be an indication that you're less narcissistic than you think. My brother is a hoarder. How did he get this way and why? Jan, did you know that 10 million people in America are living with hoarding disorder? Now, we should probably double check that stat, because this was years ago when I filmed a series on hoarding disorder, but I think that was the number I got. Maybe it was 1 million, because 10 million sounds like a lot to me. But the fact is, it's much more common than we think. I think when A&E came out with Hoarders, that show, it made it look like this happened, like we found the people who are doing this, as if it's this rare thing. And whilst it's all on a spectrum, I don't think it's as rare as most people would like to believe. And in order to understand hoarding disorder, I believe you need to understand obsessive compulsive disorder. Dr. Jenny Yip, who, you want to talk about someone who knows OCD. Dr. Jenny Yip knows OCD. She has 2 great series. One, she might have more than that, but she certainly has one on OCD and then one on hoarding. Jan, I would absolutely recommend you watching that for your brother. Depressed without much anxiety here. I hate it that the two get smushed together as if they are just joined at the hip. Yet, as much as I said I've never been an anxious person, I've always been diagnosed with with low level anxiety or just normal anxiety. It's almost as though every psychiatrist I've had goes, all right, well, you're definitely depressed, and I'm just going to throw anxiety in there to be safe. Even though I wouldn't necessarily class myself as anxiety. And that's, again, why it's so important for people to become empowered patients. Because if you are showing up to your doctor on autopilot, again, my opinion, and this can be mental health, physical health, anything. If you are showing up on autopilot and just saying, here are the keys, take it and go, you might be doing yourself a disservice. There are so many benefits when you feel like you are working in tandem with your provider on your recovery or your next step, rather than depending on your provider for recovery. MedCircle has turned me into somebody who is collaborative in my overall care, especially my mental health, as opposed to somebody who just goes to a doctor, pays the copay, believes whatever they say, and just does that. And sometimes you might have to do that for a little bit, especially if you're struggling with mental health, just be like, will you take the reins on this? But as you start to learn about your symptomology, as you start to learn about treatments, if you're on medications, you start to learn about medications, you start to learn about your relationships, your past trauma, your past bag, all of these things, you start to learn about that. It creates you into a very empowered person who then can be collaborative. INTJ, hey, awesome. Hi there. Okay, let's see. Are there any other questions? I'm sitting here talking. Can you make a series on rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria? Bridget's on this call, so she'll put that on our list. Anytime somebody messages us, emails us, whatever, with a series suggestion, it goes onto a list, okay? Then what we do is we take that list and we combine like terms. So if, so we don't have 3 suggestions for the same thing. Then we start to look at the most suggested items on that list, and then that dictates or at least influences our content calendar. People who struggle with narcissistic personality disorder do not tend to come to therapy on their own volition. That is what I have heard as well. My therapist loves it that I talk in her language. I mean, isn't that kind of a requirement? Talk about emotional, unavailable persons. That's a good topic. Bridget, put it on the list. Hey, Kyle, I'm writing a research paper on borderline personality disorder. Would you explain DBT more in depth? Hi, Aaron. I'm not going to explain DBT more in depth here. Okay, here's the deal. I am the host of MedCircle. That means I have an incredible education on mental health, and I think I could explain DBT pretty well. Okay, I know all about Dr. Marshall Linehan. I know why it was developed, how it relates to CBT, how it doesn't relate to CBT, all of these things. But I'm just not a doctor, y'all. So I feel so silly coming on here and saying blah, blah, blah. And it goes kind of against what I'm trying to do with MedCircle, what Bridget and I are trying to do with MedCircle. In my opinion, you shouldn't just turn on YouTube and listen to anybody who has a camera in front of their face talk about DBT, because they may or may not know exactly what they're talking about. So that's why I bring on Dr. Ramani, Dr. Judith, Dr. Judy, Dr. Dominic, Dr. Christy Lamb, Dr. everybody, okay? That's why I bring on these people, because they know what they're talking about. Those are the people you got to listen to. So if you need to learn about DBT for a research paper, go watch the series on DBT that MedCircle did with Dr. Judy Ho. Like a 6-part series on it, DBT. Go to watch.medcircle.com. And hey, this is another thing. If you are a student, teacher, social worker, professional, military, we've got a list of them. We have a discount for a MedCircle membership for you. You just email Mandy, support@medcircle.com. She'll get it set up. And a lot of people send us like their license or the proof that they're in the school or that they're a professional or whatever. Yo, we trust you. What do you think? We're gonna like double check that you're telling us the truth? I believe you. We believe you. If you say you're one of those people, here's your discount. Goodness gracious. I don't like those companies who are like, we don't believe you, prove it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't believe me? Goodness. Okay, I'm doing DBT right now. You can hit me up. Nice, good job. Everyone's doing DBT. I'm bipolar 1, hard for me to deal with the way the world works. I'm on the strongest, best meds though, and they keep me from being insane. You should do a video on how amazing lithium is. We do talk about bipolar medication in our bipolar series. LSS, lazy student syndrome. Certainly have had that before. Certainly have that still, even though I'm not a student. I guess I'm a student of life. This is MedCircle, not shot out or a dating site. Hello. That's true. MedCircle membership changed my life, y'all. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for sharing that. And most importantly, I'm glad it did. That's wonderful. What are your thoughts on the difficulties in finding and receiving and maintaining quality treatment as a person who struggles with multiple mental health illnesses? Goodness gracious, I don't even have time to give you my opinion on that because it's hard. Finding a mental health professional is hard. Finding a mental health professional is hard. Now finding the one for you, oh my gosh, so difficult, so difficult. It's so much of the reason why MedCircle exists, because MedCircle does not replace treatment. It doesn't even provide treatment or therapy of any kind. But because that's so hard, and now there are lots of other, telehealth options or teleoptions, what we found is that the missing piece for a lot of people is that educational component. And that we can provide that easier. We can get that to more people. It's hard for me to get a therapist into everybody's home. It's really easy to get mental health education into everybody's home. You know what I mean? So don't discount the importance, the value of just getting educated on your mental health disorders. If you've been diagnosed with a mental health disorder and you couldn't explain it, you can't explain what it is, time to get educated. If a loved one has a mental health disorder and you can't explain what it is, really explain it, time to get educated. It's the only way I can say is like, go try. Because honestly, if I didn't get hired by MedCircle years ago, I had never sought out a mental health education. Whatever my only education in mental health was what my therapist or psychiatrist said out loud during our sessions, which could be 50 minutes. And it was probably just about me, not about what depression is or what cognitive behavioral therapy is. So when I got this education and then I saw the changes in my life for the better, I was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. Like mental health education is basically I look at it as science-backed self-improvement. And so when I thought about it that way and I saw about all the benefits for me, I was like, okay, I get this. I get why someone will want this if someone would need this. But it's hard to motivate somebody, go get educated on that thing that sucks. Like go read and learn about your depression. That sucks. So we try to make it as entertaining and as easy to consume the information as possible. But there is a dedication on your side, no matter what brings you to MedCircle, if it's for you or somebody else. You have to have some sort of desire or want, or at least can understand the benefit of putting in a little bit of time and understanding your mental health. Okay. How could you bring some doctor that can maybe talk about obsessive thinking? Yeah, we've talked about that many times. Watch.medcircle.com. Will educating yourself too much hurt you if we see a therapist and use fancy jargons in front of them? I don't think so. I don't think you can be too educated, but I think not you specifically, obviously, but I think somebody could maybe be, and I use this word lightly, but obsessive in the education. Nobody needs to learn everything. You can't learn everything. The doctors don't even know everything, and everything's changing all the time. So I think it's just important to have an education, okay? And whatever that feels for you, whatever feels right for you in that education, great. Some people want to know the absolute nuances of everything. I don't really go that far. I don't actually need to know the chemical reactions of an SSRI with my serotonin, and dopamine in my head. I don't need to know that. I need to know what an SSRI is. I need to know why I'm on the SSRI, et cetera. But I don't have to go to science class. But if you want that, we offer that too. We got it all. I found your channel 2 weeks ago, and I just want to say thank you. Well, thank you for saying thank you. You might be interested in an actual MedCircle membership. If you are, watch.medcircle.com. Okay, so true. You have to be motivated to understand your mental health. Yeah, and sometimes mental health demotivates you, right? If you're in the middle of a depression, you're not motivated to go learn about mental health. And so what I'm saying is if you're in the middle of a depression, then maybe just watch 15 minutes or just lay in bed and listen to 15 minutes of video. And then if after 15 minutes, you're like, okay, that's all I can take right now, great, turn it off. Or if after 15 minutes you go, you know what? That made a lot of sense. I actually want to hear more, then listen more. No pressure. Don't put pressure on yourself. There's already plenty of people, things, institutions, cultures, life is putting pressure on you. You don't need that anymore. Harm reduction. Can we do a series on that? Yes, Bridget, please add that to the list. What I wanted to know was I spoke to police recalling the trauma of my rape. My hands would go freezing cold and I would shake uncontrollably. What is that? What causes the response? I cannot speak to that. I'm not a doctor. I'm so sorry you went through that, and I really applaud your resilience here and bravery. I absolutely would continue looking for that answer. Can you heal without meds? Also a big question. I think lots of people have a lot of success without meds. I've had a lot of doctors tell me that the first line of treatment should, in most cases, not include meds. I'm medicated. I take 40 milligrams of Prozac every day. Just upped it from 20 actually from June, because I switched from Paxil to Prozac, and then I had to up my Prozac to 40. There is a series we have with Jacob Moore. He talks about recovery without the use of meds. And he doesn't do it in a way where it's like he's better than somebody who recovers with meds. He just shares that, his experience in that. I think it's important not to stigmatize medication, because there is a reason it exists. It works for a lot of people. I'm one of them. Kyle, don't mind me asking. I won't mind you asking. How long have you been seeking therapy? What prompted you to seek therapy? The first time I saw a therapist, I was 9 years old. When I was probably 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, around there, I started to have incredible emotional outbursts. I wouldn't say I was a bad kid. I studied really hard in school. I followed all the rules, but I would just have a lot of breaking points. Anytime my environment became, I mean, anything can set me off. I just had these breaking points, and it was really, God, it was really dark. I really just remember my childhood in that period being terrible, and that's not to hurt my family at all. It's just what was going on in my brain. I think I've shared this. I don't love sharing this because I just don't like talking about it, but I think it's important for at least me to talk about these things. When I was young, I remember I would hit myself in the face. I would slap myself in the face, and not all day, obviously, or all the time. But when I would have these outbursts, I would do that. And so I look at that as a form of self-harm. And finally, my parents put me into therapy, and I got put on Prozac, and it was awful. I remember my mother would put it in a syringe. It was liquid, and she would squirt it in my mouth, and I would drink it. It tasted terrible, and then I would drink all this water. But I remember maybe, gosh, I don't know, 10 days after taking Prozac every day, it was like I was free for the first. It felt like I broke out of my brain. Like my brain had kept me in some cell, and I broke out of that. Yeah. So for me, Prozac's been incredible, but I've been in therapy too, and I've been off my medication as well. Okay, let's see. What other questions? Bridget is here too. Y'all could ask Bridget some questions. I feel like I'm always asking questions like I'm some important person or something. Chetan is asking, hello, Kyle, question for you. How did you know if you recovered from your depression? Is it curable? Well, I think it depends on how you define the words recovered and curable. I have my depression treated. To me, that is I'm in a very manageable state. Is it cured? I guess not by the formal definition. But for me, the fact that I can wake up in the morning, I can go to work, I can sit here and be live on YouTube, I can answer my phone and take phone calls, I went to the gym this morning, I can go work out, I take care of my body, I shower regularly, I eat good food. All of those are signs to me that depression symptoms are at bay. When I can't get out of bed, when I'm incredibly moody, livid, on edge, when I isolate even more than I already naturally do. Those are all signs that something's not right. I'm very aware of the signs now. A lot of people aren't. Should I talk about BPD to my therapist, even if there is a chance that I might not have it? I'm certain I'm not the best person to ask for that, Connor, but I would say, I think you should talk to your therapist about whatever it is you want to talk about, whatever it is, talk about it. A good therapist will be able to take that and move it into the right direction or see it for what it is in a way that can help you. So if you feel like you want to talk to your therapist about it, I think you should. Can you tell us some future topics coming up? Oh, Bridget, do we have any future topics you'd like to reveal to our live watchers? While she thinks about whether or not she wants to do that, I would like to know who here has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Who here is a MedCircle member, which is different. You're only a MedCircle member if you pay us once a month or once a year. I would love to just read and see what we got here.
Hey Kyle, we'll be releasing a full relationship series on YouTube week over week with Dr. Ish Major, who's a relationship expert, especially in relationships. So
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
I was like interrupting you, Bridget.
that's it.
Yeah, Bridget loved our last relationship class. If you're a MedCircle member, you may have joined that class. Bridget, is that class available in the library right now?
It will be tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So if you go to watch.medcircle.com tomorrow, there will be that 90-minute class on relationships, toxic relationships, etc. A lot of people have told me it's been their favorite class so far. So that's why we're doing a series around it. But anyway, you can go there tomorrow and watch it. So we have a few subscribers. That's great. I see a lot of MedCircle members coming in. That's awesome. Thank you all for your support. Subscriber and member, the double whammy. Subscribed on YouTube, MedCircle member. That's good. You can also, if you're someone who's a YouTube subscriber, but you're not quite ready for a MedCircle membership for whatever reason, you can join our email list. We give, I think that's a weekly email, and there is some free resources included in that email. So it's a great thing to have. You can go at the bottom of medcircle.com. You can opt into our email list anytime. Okay, all these subscribers, thanks. Double member, Miss Nikki. I love that. What a great name, the double member, the subscriber and the member. I think it'd be very interesting to have Jordan Peterson on. Yes, it would be interesting. We talked about that in the early days when I first was on, and I don't remember why it was never pursued or why it never happened, but now it could be something we bring on. Would like to buy a membership. Can you describe what we get in addition to free material here? And besides Google, can we talk to MedCircle panelist Q&A? Yeah, that's a really good question. So sorry, all these questions are coming in. My recommendation, I don't ever want to push people to have a MedCircle membership. I do want to push people to start a trial. If after a week of MedCircle during your trial, you're like, I'm not going to use this, then just cancel, okay? Subscribe to the YouTube channel, stay on the email list if you want, just cancel. The deal is, you're asking me to be like, why should I become a MedCircle member? And my response is, just go be a member for a week and then see if you don't like it. You know, you get access to all the videos in the video library. You know, you're going to get access to every single class we've had. It's all been recorded and edited and posted. So you have a huge library of classes you can have. You can sign up and attend whatever that weekly class is that week to see if you like it, get a feel for it. And then if you do become a member, you'll have access, guaranteed access to all of the classes in the for the rest of your membership trial. So that's why we do that, you know, try it out for 7 days. Even when we bring in, you know, people who are kind of interested in MedCircle, you'll see we're never like, become a member. We're like, hey, start a trial. Let's figure out if this is a good fit for you. See if this is right for you. Because it might be something that you go, okay, I don't need this right now. I need this in 6 months, or I need this later. Or it might be something that you go, why did I not do this last year when I could have, you know, you don't want that either. So go try it for, you know, a week. Yeah, I was only half serious about Jordan Peterson. If I subscribed, I'd spend too much time watching videos and not enough time on everything else in my life. Yeah, the cool thing when you subscribe and you use the app, you can download those videos. So a lot of people will binge them on their car ride, or now that their people are flying again, on their flights, because it is a lot of content. Very rarely does somebody email me and go, well, there's no content, you know, because there's just so much. Have you had Dr. Todd Grande on? I have not. I don't know who that is. I'd love a piece on his own research. What is in the membership in all caps? The video streaming library. So all of the videos and docu-series on mental health, you can go see it at watch.medcircle.com. Live classes, you can attend live virtually on Zoom. These classes are held and moderated by myself and the MedCircle doctors. It allows you to ask questions and get answers from those doctors during these classes. Those are the two core offerings. There are additional membership benefits, but those are the two reasons people join and stay. I love when you speak to people who share their own experiences and how they manage to overcome, live with their struggles. It definitely needs to be put into a You Got This video playlist. Bridget would be the woman for you to talk to about that. Memberships you can go to watch.medcircle.com and click sign up. And then it'll be taken to a sign up page. Here, I can share the actual sign up page though. This is a trial. So is it not letting me say something? Oh, nice. Well, then I should, well, it's not letting me comment for some reason in the chat. But watch.medcircle.com. I have an 18-year-old son who has shown drastic depression signs for the past 2 years. He's leaving to go to college in a few weeks, and I cannot convince him to see a therapist. Any suggestions? Julia, thank you for sharing that. You are not alone. Many parents share something like that. I have a few things for you. Number one is we have a great series on that topic, actually, navigating depression and anxiety in college. While it might be something good for your son to watch, he may not be into it, no big deal. I think it would be great for you or your family to watch in order to support him. I also think keeping those lines of communication open are incredibly important during this time. I think a lot of people forget that a therapist or a psychologist or a mental health provider of some sort can often help you help others. And I don't like the answer of, well, go to see a therapist, because if you go online and you type in any mental health question, one of the recommendations is go see a therapist. Okay. So we all know that, go see a therapist. That's why that video series is so great to watch, because you learn things outside of go see a therapist. I would also look at motivational interviewing, not because I think anyone is going to become some sort of expert motivational interviewer overnight and be able to just, change everything. But I think it does give some insight in the best ways, or some of the best ways, to communicate with an individual who's struggling. Because as a lot of people tell me, and my own personal experiences, if you just say, you're depressed, we'll get over it. You're depressed, go see a therapist. You're depressed, we'll fix it. Well, if you tell a depressed person that, that's not going to work. They're depressed. Okay? If they were not depressed, then they would go do those things. But they are depressed. It's like asking someone in a wheelchair, well, just run it off. They're like, I'm in a wheelchair. Well, then walk it off. It's like, I'm in a wheelchair. So to me, I think you have to come with it from a compassionate standpoint, but you also have to come with it. You don't have to just come with, I'm going to fix this right now for you. And that's hard to do as a parent, I imagine. I'm not a parent. The parents tell me that's so hard because, of course, they want to fix things for their kids. But now your kid is becoming an adult. And so your job is you can't fix it anymore. They're not in third grade. You can't fix it anymore. They've got to do it, but you can be there every step of the way supporting them. You can learn how. I think the best first step is to watch that series. Bridget, maybe you can put it in the chat, because I can't put it in the chat. Okay, I'm so glad Kyle is here. Oh, well, thank you. Showing us what brave looks like. That's a very nice compliment, and I'm hardly showing you bravery at this moment, but thank you. That's not to start working. Okay. Having a good doctor, dentist, hairdresser, and therapist is just great for everybody. Hey, how good is that? Having a good doctor, dentist, hairdresser, and therapist is just great for everybody. I love that. Okay, and you guys are having a separate conversation about something else. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about our content? We also have our producer, Bridget, on the line, who's probably going, please don't bring me into this, but I like to bring her into it. And thank you for all your questions. There it is, finally, in the, I know we're at a delay here, but there is the link to how to find the series on how to find the right therapist. Bridget, I don't know, maybe you heard this, maybe you put it in and I missed it, but the series on depression and anxiety in college. We also have a guide, medcircle.com/providers with an S on the end, medcircle.com/providers. That guide is very robust and very helpful if you're trying to find a mental health professional. Have you thought about doing role plays to illustrate certain behaviors, traits, and symptoms? Yes. So we have done that in the past. I have typically been the one playing the patient while the doctors, of course, played the doctor. Role playing is something that people have really enjoyed. And so we are looking to incorporate that more into our interviews. Oh yeah. So actually our producer's name is Brigid, Brigid. But of course, everybody mistakes it as Bridget, but it's Brigid. What persons with some disorders hate self-help, philosophy, psychology videos? Or why persons? I mean, yeah, look, while MedCircle should be something that everybody watches, interacts with, consumes, MedCircle is not. Some people are not ready for MedCircle or don't want it. I get it. I get that. We're here for the people who are ready and want it, you know? Can't please everybody. Thanks, Kyle. You were looking me right in the eyes as you answered. Any advice is all appreciated. Well, thank you for being here. Okay. Can you make a series on mental health insurance? Oh, wouldn't that be such a great idea? Okay, so here's the thing with the mental health insurance series. It changes all the time. So we would create this series, right? And it would be great. And then in a month, it might not be relevant anymore. What we've kind of done is create that article that I just talked about, medcircle.com/providers. And that is a robust guide that will talk about insurance in there. And as things develop, we will update that guide. But really, really good idea. Oh, it's medcircle.com/provider, not with an S, sorry. How are you a doc? Oh, I'm not a doctor. Are you the founder of MedCircle? I am not. The founder of MedCircle is Doug Colbeth. He is on medcircle.com/about. He founded MedCircle and he hired me. Bridget was hired before me. When was that, like 2018 or something? 2017. Yeah, he hired me to be a host. And so I just went and interviewed Dr. Romney, you know, in her house. And then I interviewed a couple other doctors and I was like, all right, well, that's it. Thanks for hiring me to interview these doctors. Gosh, those videos are not the quality we have today. But then the videos did really well. And one of them is still, I believe, our most watched video on our YouTube channel with more than 9 million views. So, hey, at the end of the day, even though the video quality wasn't great there, the content must have been good or something happened because a lot of people have watched it. Big love from Russia. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Great. I recently went no contact with my narcissistic father's house. I'm happy I got away, but I don't feel home anymore. Somehow that house seems normal. I know it's wrong, but I can't help it. Well, again, I'm not a doctor or a therapist, but I think your feelings are not wrong. I would imagine that cutting contacts could bring up a lot of feelings, you know, but if you were intentional and have a good reason why you did that, then it could be something that proves beneficial over the long term. Can you make interviews with mental illness people describing their experiences? Yes, we actually have a full patient spotlight category in our video library. And in there we have a variety of people who are very open about their mental illnesses and their experiences. We get a lot of great feedback on the patient spotlights. I think a lot of people come to MedCircle first because they want to hear from the doctors. They want that expertise. And then they start watching the content and they see or find one of our patient spotlights and they go, okay, yeah, I love this. This was incredible for me. And you know who also watches the patient series? are professionals. A significant portion of our membership base at MedCircle are other psychologists and psychiatrists, and they watch it for, you know, similar reasons that everybody does, but they are applying it to their own practice, and they learn so much from those patient stories, you know, which there's obvious reasons why. Your dog is great. Don't see too many white Labradors. Oh, well, let's get her up here. Come here, Callie. Come here. Were you sleeping? Come here, up here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Come see everybody. Can you stand up? There you go. There you go. Are you taking a little nappy? Were you taking a little nap? Yeah, taking a little nap. And she's a little tired and confused why she's up here right now. The best girl in the whole world. This is Callie. I don't know if she's in frame right now, actually, but this is her. She's in a lot of the videos. So if you don't like looking at cute dogs, like if you just despise cute dogs, then don't become a MedCircle member, because she's in almost all of them. Yeah. And she sheds, but God, she's great, isn't she? Just love her. Okay, what are your thoughts on the V? I don't know what the V is, so I couldn't answer that. Sorry, I'm talking into my cell phone. Okay. Give her some head pats for you. No problem. Can MedCircle also point to literature in the series below the video or somewhere else where people can find more information on the topic? Chetan, that is a really good suggestion. One thing we're looking to implement is supplemental material to each video series and the classes. These would be available in PDF or digital formats that you could download or watch or read or access on the go. They would only be for MedCircle members, as they would be tied into the back end of our membership. So, or of our account. So it would be for MedCircle members only. But great idea and something we're working on. Could you also please add a speed button? You'll have to practice some mindfulness in the meantime. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, when COVID is quote over, will MedCircle do a world tour city by city? That would be cool. I doubt we would go right to a world tour, but we have often thought about going to a few cities in America to do a variety of things. So you never know. You know, COVID obviously threw everything through a loop. So it's not something that I can honestly tell you I've been planning, but it is something that is probably brought up, I don't know, twice a year. Somebody in MedCircle says, why don't we go on a tour? Why don't we go? I'm like, yeah. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. MedCircle employees and doctors and support is all across the country. Sweetie, you know drinking is going to exacerbate all of your system. I assume you're not talking to me, because I'm just drinking good old-fashioned water. Chetan. Hey, I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name wrong, or I'm not sure, but I might be. Chetan, y'all, you have had so many great ideas during this live chat. Chetan, do you have a MedCircle membership? How about this, Chetan? Will you just send me an email, kyle@medcircle.com? And I would like to do something for you. I don't know what it is, but I'll figure it out just to say thank you. All right, let's be very clear. I appreciate the very nice comments on you're very handsome and yada, yada, yada. But Bridget, is my Zoom up?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all, it's just, look at this, okay? I want you to show, nothing's real. Ready? I look like this because it's that setting on Zoom where you touch up your appearance. Now watch this. There, that's how I actually look. I think that's it. Yeah, so I turned that off. Look at the difference. Incredible. But thank you nonetheless. I just mean, you know, we all go on social media all day, and then you sit here and you're like, oh wow, he has clear skin. No, I just clicked a button on Zoom. Okay, thank you. Chatan, looks like your email was hidden, but we did get it, so it's been sent to me, so I'll send you something. Thank you. Okay, maybe an episode on the fact that the war zone environment on person's mental health could be informative. Yes, really, really good idea. I am not a certified doctor. I'm not even an uncertified doctor. I am a human being who talks a lot about mental health and asks a lot of questions about mental health. I lived with my boyfriend for a couple of years in a foreign country. The relationship went cold. I feel lonely. He doesn't help me with much on a daily basis. I really feel my mental health is bad. Thank you for sharing some of that. That has to be tough. To be in a foreign country, to feel cold and lonely, to don't feel like you ever get help. Yeah, I would imagine your mental health is bad. Thank you for sharing part of that. I'm trying to think if there's a specific series that could help you. And then not one specific one comes to mind for that type of scenario. But there is a series that I bring up often. And if you have not watched it, I'd say watch it. Oh, thanks, Dave. Appreciate you. It is the video series on acceptance and commitment therapy. It is not available on YouTube, unfortunately. But honestly, you can watch it for free. Just start a trial and watch it. An episode on hypochondria. That'd be a good idea. Bridget, I'm sure we have hypochondria on the list, but we should add it again. There it is, the acceptance and commitment therapy. Acceptance and commitment therapy takes a lot of the evidence-based parts of cognitive behavioral therapy, but adds an element of Eastern philosophy and mindfulness. And it really forced me to finally look at my relationship with my thoughts. And if you hear that and go, what does that mean? And that's the exact reason you need to watch the series. If you hear that and you go, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about, then I would also say go watch the series, because you already get this, and this will clarify and maybe even take it to the next level. It is it's awesome. It's awesome. So I would go watch that. Are any members here watching live? Have you watched the series on acceptance and commitment therapy with Dr. Judy Ho? Love Dr. Judy. Man, I love Dr. Judy. Could we have more videos on approach to psychotherapy for depression? Interesting. Yeah. Dr. Hoda, I like that phrasing. I wonder if we could even go more specific. Psychotherapy approaches for psychotherapy for depression. Like, what's more specific than that we could bring you that would be beneficial? I am not a peer counselor. Now they're really coming in. Oh, you're so welcome. I cannot watch the series. Where is that series? Acceptance and commitment therapy. Bridget did share it in the group chat. There it is. Acceptance and commitment therapy. Love it. And y'all, I am a MedCircle member. I'm on the annual plan. I pay for my membership. Bridget pays for her membership. In fact, we have an unofficial rule at MedCircle that if you work at MedCircle, you pay for your membership. The reason we have that is because I want everybody to have the same experience that the members have. And oh, thank you. Hey, y'all are really sweet for tipping here. That's so nice, right? Jupiter Star just gave MedCircle $19.99. That's very sweet. The nicest thing you can do, okay, even more than the $19.99. Here are the nicest things you could do for me, okay? Because Bridget and I wake up every day, and all we think about is, how do we get more people to watch MedCircle? How do we get more people to watch MedCircle? How do we get more people to watch MedCircle? I wonder how we could get more people to watch. That's just what we think about. So if you want to take your favorite YouTube video from our channel and share it on Facebook, oh, that's so great for us. That helps us so much. If you want to go to medcircle.com and share an article from our blog on your social media, oh, that's so great for us. If you want to go on your Instagram and make a story that just says, if anybody is looking for mental health education, I recommend MedCircle. Google them or find them on YouTube. That is the nicest thing you can do for us. I look at a lot of the viewers on YouTube. Maybe you aren't a MedCircle member, but you are part of MedCircle, okay? Because you're on YouTube, you're watching the videos, you're making comments, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're engaging. You're part of MedCircle. So when you share MedCircle with your friends and family, oh my God, that's such like an honor that you would do that. That's the nicest thing anyone can do for me, is to share MedCircle with somebody else. Whether it's a video, a website, you can go to watch.medcircle.com. There's a list of free series, no credit cards, no email addresses, no barriers, no paywall. There's 6 of them there. Take one and be like, all right, this series is for these 4 people. And this series, I'm going to text to these 3 people. And this series, I'm going to text to my brother or whatever it is. That's the best. Thank you. Okay, I've said that enough. How can we send snacks to your dogs? If that's not the most important question on this stream, I don't even know what is then. I don't know how you do that, actually. You know, Callie does have a few sponsorships, and a couple companies will send her little treats in the mail. So, you know, you could always do that. Or, you know, just send her just say a nice prayer for her. Kisses from Serbia. You love MedCircle. Kisses back. Thank you. Is it about watching MedCircle then? I can't afford it. I'm on disability. If you or anybody else feel like you cannot afford a MedCircle membership and you're comfortable doing so, I would love for you to email Mandy, who is in charge of member support. You email her and you said, Mandy, I was on YouTube today. Kyle's doing a live stream. I can't afford a membership, but I really want in. What can you do for me? Mandy will hook you up. Okay. I don't ever want somebody not to get access to MedCircle because they literally cannot afford it. Okay, that's just not okay. I know we have a lot of free series on YouTube and all that, but it is important to me that if you need this or want this type of education, that you can get it. So email Mandy, support@medcircle.com. And thank you for all of the members who, you know, do pay us. That is part of it. I appreciate you. Okay. You know, we are not a nonprofit company. We are a for-profit company. And I'm very transparent about that as well. I believe in the model. We pay our doctors. We have a lot of tech. We have a lot of expenses and costs, and, you know, ads just don't cut it. So we have to find other ways to build this type of credentialed educational library. All right, we're gonna have like a couple more minutes left. Who is Mandy? Email support@medcircle.com is Mandy's email. Support@medcircle.com. That is her. I should probably, Bridget, maybe you can Slack Mandy and let her know that she might get onboarded with some emails from today's live. I've never heard of hagiotherapy or logotherapy. Bridget, maybe we can add that to the list. Oh, awesome. You got it half off in May. Awesome. Yeah. You can't have a relationship with something that doesn't. Okay. So, hey, this was fun. Really quick. Just a nice little YouTube chat. Looks like we had, 170 people on average for the hour. So that was nice. I thought maybe nobody would show up. So this was a pleasant surprise. If you ever need anything, support@medcircle.com. If you ever need anything regarding MedCircle, okay, if you and a coworker are having an issue about a parking space, don't email me about that. If for whatever reason you want to reach out to me directly, you're more than welcome to. I love hearing from everybody. Kyle@medcircle.com is my email address. You can just say hi. You can ask me a question. You can not email, whatever. I have to say this. Somebody said you look like Brendan Urie. I get that all the time. I had to go look up who Brendan Urie was because I get that all the time. The other person I get, if you watch Veep on HBO, Veep, there is a guy on there. his real name is Reed Scott, but I am mistaken for him. I have been mistaken for him. When I lived in LA, on at least 2 occasions I can recall right now, somebody was like, "Hey, I love you on Veep." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." I didn't say that. I was like, "That's not me." So yeah. Okay. So I'm literally just, you guys are talking about emailing back. Sorry, Bridget, we're going to go a little longer. I despise a bad customer service experience. I despise it. Anytime I interact with a company, I want a great customer service experience. So I look at MedCircle as my company, even though it's not mine, but I look at it as mine. And everybody should have a great customer service experience. So yes, if you email support@medcircle.com and you do not have a stellar experience, email me back. You email me. Now, if you're just saying, well, I asked them to refund 2 years of payments and they wouldn't do it, I'll say that's correct. They're not supposed to do that. I'm not saying we just do whatever, but I am saying we are quick, we are polite, we always do the right thing, we're communicative, and Mandy's never going to say, oh, well, I need to check what. She has complete authority to do whatever it is she needs to do. Now, she may have to wait on somebody to fix something for you because she's not a tech person if something's broken, but we will get there. We always do the right thing. You never have to worry about that. We will do the right thing. I'm saying it right here live on YouTube. We do the right thing. I take a lot of pride in that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about whatever. We should do something where like you guys come on and we make it more conversational. Like we have MedCircle members who join via Zoom, and then you guys could come on and then we could chit chat back and forth or something. Okay, now I'm literally ending this. Thank you all for being here. Of course, some of you have already said it, but remember, whatever you're going through, you got this.